ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। हरे कृष्णा। Yesterday we were discussing about how illusion is really an illusion. So illusion is the greatest obstruction which actually keeps us away to do tapasya in the practice of pure devotional service. Because how the material nature is working, we need to really understand. This is training and Krishna consciousness is vital. Just like Parikshit Maharaj is an exalted Vaishnava Acharya, pure devotee of the Lord, who was actually leading his life, was just leading his life for the pleasure of the Lord. His sleeping, his eating, his services, taking care of the dynasty, his family, everything is done for the pleasure of the Lord. So when difficulties do come in one's life, one should always see how our acharyas, how pure devotees are leading their life, what is their shelter, which direction they have taken. This we need to see, and then we need to just follow that. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadam. When one follows in those lines, then he will see the presence of the Lord. Because the Lord always stays with his the devotees. Krishna always stays with his devotees. When devotees go through difficulties or problems, then the Lord is always there. Because what does the devotee do? Devotee doesn't do anything else other than utterly depending on the mercy of the Lord. But this illusion which is there, it doesn't allow us to take that shelter. That is the whole point why the illusion is there. It keeps one in a perplexed state because those perplexities doesn't go away, doesn't easily go away because they're always there. So a sadhaka should actually strive to take up that process. For example, if a devotee might be afflicted with health issues, they would ask, Prabhu, please pray so that these things are taken care. So then always a question comes, and a sadhaka is inquiring in that way, okay, through the prayers, through the mercy of the Vaishnavas, of the pure devotees, things would shape up, things would come to normal. Then what happens after coming to normal? Do we take shelter of the Lord? Or do we go away? Or do we go away? So when we go away, after the health improves, which is a natural way in this material world, then how do we take that? See, when the health improves, then we go away from the process of Krishna consciousness. When the health deteriorates, and then when we come to the process of Krishna consciousness, this is not actually the real shelter which the Lord is expecting from us. The Lord is expecting from us, irrespective of our situation, always take His shelter. So that actually shows when everything is all right. Right now, everything is all right. When we really take shelter, then during the difficulties, then we even take more shelter. Then we pray to the Lord, my dear Lord, thank you for the situation. Because through this situation only, I am able to take more shelter of you. Then that situation becomes a realization in his heart. Because that situation is actually helping him to go deeper at the consciousness level. Because not everyone will be same on the platform. Because it depends what he wants to aspire in his life. For example, father has 3 children. All 3 children were fed same in a same way. All 3 children were given prasad. All 3 children were sent to the school. All 3 children were given everything. But not 3 of them will be same. One might be different, the other person might be different. Because his nature, his swabhava is different. Just like Krishna, when he descended 5,000 years back, he expressed himself that he is a supreme personality of Godhead, but not everyone accepted it. Only his devotees accepted it. Not everyone. Why? Why is it like that? There are so many people who did not accept Krishna, the Supreme Lord, because the sadhaka is always given a choice in his life. Sadhaka is always kept in a situation where he can choose his own way. That is why Krishna consciousness is in the midst of so many things of this world. If the devotee is aspiring for this only, then that is a great shelter for him actually. Because that looks unnatural actually. Taking up Krishna consciousness looks unnatural in this world. Or giving up something looks unnatural. Doing some donation looks unnatural. Doing some charity looks unnatural. Getting up early in the morning looks unnatural. Becoming free from sense enjoyment looks unnatural here. But here, dear devotees, if you actually see, all of these things look unnatural. See, Arjuna killing his family members looks unnatural. It's not natural. From an external perspective, if a person is seeing, how come, why is he killing his family members? For kingdom? When a person sees from an external vision without having an understanding or the knowledge or the thought process of what Lord is expecting, that simply gives a false understanding. Oh, just see how he's killing his family members for some kingdom. He could have given his kingdom, but no, he's fighting. No, actually, Arjuna is telling, give up this kingdom. But Krishna is on the other side, he says to fight. Oh, Arjuna is only right. It's not Krishna. Because no one has a clarity in this world. This is again an illusion. That's why big personalities, they become bewildered. So-called big personalities, because they never understood the heart of the Lord. Because the moment sadhaka understands the heart of the Lord, then whatever he does in his life, that is the greatest blessing, and then that might look unnatural, but that is the natural state. So it is very important to perceive the truth in this way. The truth is so sublime and divine. That's why Krishna says Rajavidya Rajaguyam. This is not something ordinary. This is most confidential knowledge. Pratyakshagamam susukam kartum avyayam. Avidya, Ajnana. Ajnana is what? It's avidya, it's niscience. The nescience has to be removed, it's to be dissipated. Today I was talking to my dad's friend, and then through the discussion, it was a very clear understanding that the shelter, what do they take shelter in this world? Everyone. What is their shelter in this world? Money, property, so-called relationships, and even that relationships, they're not like loving relationships. They're like shallow. Because why the relationships in this world are shallow? Because they are based on this. They are based on temporary things. Every relationship is based on a temporary thing, which is what? Properties, money, assets. That's about it. As the relationships are on this platform, the relationships are not on a loving platform, because they are on the surface. They are shallow. And shallow relationship doesn't give satisfaction to the heart. Why? Because their root is different. The way they are connected is different. For example, everyone eats food. Everyone eats food for nutrition, for maintaining of this body. Everyone eats food. But some people eat food for nourishment, and some people eat food for the pleasure of the Lord. There's a difference. Same thing they are doing. but their motive, their intention is different. When the motive and the intention are not on the absolute plane, that gives bewilderment. That is illusion actually. Because if the motive is not on the absolute plane, if it is on a temporary plane, that keeps them in anxiety because money is not a permanent thing. It doesn't stay always. Chanchala doesn't stay. So if this thing is not used for right purpose, then it keeps in bewilderment. Just like Duryodhana, he has everything. You name it, he has everything. But still he's anxious. Still his anxiety. He has so much anxiety in his life. Why? Because his dealings are on this plane. What plane is that? He is actually checking the other side of the dynasty, that who is there during the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and is fearful. And then through that state of fearfulness, he is going and then approaching Bhishma Dev. Now let us do something. That is the whole point why he pulled so many people into his kingdom. Because he wants to win the battle. And that itself is temporary. Even though he understands that, still he wanted to take that shelter. This is a difference actually. Don't you think Duryodhana doesn't know that that is all temporary? He knows. Duryodhana knows that all of this is temporary, but still he is taking that shelter only. He doesn't want to go away. He doesn't want to leave that. That's a problem in this world. So through that conversation, it's a very clear indication that everyone in this world are taking wrong shelters. Everyone. There is no hope and scope in this world. There is no hope and scope in this world. Because if we closely observe, the wrong shelters are the one which keeps us in bay. That's why if you see, no matter if they have done so much austerities and tapasya, but still those shelters are not right shelters. Sorry, one second. As a shelter is not right shelter, doesn't give fruit if it doesn't give correct results. Just like Mother Sita, she's in a difficult state. Why Mother Sita was kept in a difficult state? Why was she taken away to Sri Lanka? To Lanka? Ravana's Lanka? Because of her attitude towards Lakshmana. Her attitude towards Lakshmana was not right. Offensive mentality towards Lakshmana. She doubted the presence of Lakshmana. He was there to serve Mother Sita, but she wrongly represented him. And she offended him. So that offense caused her in a difficult state. She was kept in a difficult state. Likewise, dear devotees, no one is the cause of anyone's problems here. It is only we. It is only we take that shelter, the wrong shelters. And then through that wrong shelters we suffer. It's not anything else actually. So that wrong shelter, which we are not supposed to take, but we take. Then what happens through that wrong shelter? Complacency, duplicity, fearfulness, anxiety, depression, all of these things do come. She suffered so much, Mother Sita. Because what? Because what was the reason? Not accepting a pure devotee in a right state, offending them. So an offense towards a Vaishnava, no matter how much tapasya we do, they're all taken away. They become pale. Because what Krishna doesn't like that is that. So we cannot ever think that now I'm in a good state. Because the material nature is always there. Please do not think that the material nature is gone, or she is no longer there, or she has left me. No. The material nature is always there. Just like Vyasadev, after meeting Narada Muni, he would see the presence of both Lord and also the material nature. That means he's seeing Lord and the material nature both side by side. Then he concludes that when the sadhaka is completely taking shelter of the Lord, he's in the internal energy. And when he's not taking the shelter of the Lord, he's in the external energy. That means through his choices, through his selection of his choices, continuously when he takes the right choices, then he is kept in the internal energy. But the moment he takes wrong choices, which is not as per Guru Sadhu Shastra, he is kept in the external energy. That means the material nature is ready to catch at that moment. Even Bharata Maharaj, he gave up everything. I was discussing with my parents today on this subject matter. Bharata Maharaj, he gave up everything through goodness, through compassion. He was attracted to a deer. Attraction is not bad. In what way he was attracted, that is bad. Attracting to something to bring them to Krishna consciousness, that is not bad. But here, that attraction is not that kind of attraction. But that attraction is what? He gave up everything and then he started taking her shelter, the deer. That was the problem. So, staying near in this world is not a problem. But how are we staying in this world is a problem. With what way, with how way, through what consciousness we are approaching, that is a problem actually. Now, just see about the situation. Bharat Maharaj, he gave everything, full surrender. Sarvadharman parityajat mamekam sharanam aham tvam sarvapapibam. And he's a son of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishabdev. Just understand how exalted state he is. Now that Bharat Maharaj, he saw a deer and then he gave up all of his things, all of his duties. Well, this is a clear indication it is the lack of association. Just like Mother Sita, she gave up everything actually. She gave up Ayodhya Dham. No, Lord Rama told her, you can stay at the place, I will go just by myself because this is not for you, this is only for me. But she says, no, my dear master, Wherever you are, I'll be there with you. Said, that's great. And she went with him. There's not like palaces in the forest. They do not have big, big couches, sofas, this, that, where they can sit. They all sit on the floor. Now, she gave up everything, but having an ill feeling towards Lakshmana gave her troubles. Ill feeling towards a pure devotee is a representative of the Lord. Balramji, Lakshman Dev. Lakshmana is who? Balramji. Then she misrepresented him. She offended him. And that's about it. She was kept in a difficult state. Now, no doubt it's an arrangement of the Lord, but still it's the greatest lesson for us. Bharat Maharaj gave up everything. Still, there was that attachment which is there is something profound. It's something to remember, something to keep in our heart, in our consciousness. We deal with so many people in this world. How are we dealing with them? With what kind of feelings we have on them? Those are all very important. We go to the school, college, we go to office, so many places. How are we dealing with every person there? If we are attracted to them through some shape or form, through our age, doesn't matter. Attraction can come at any moment, at any time. The moment we get attracted to them, that's it. We are gone case in this world. That's why having real attraction is very important in this life. For example, Bharat Maharaj, the moment he would have seen that deer is in a difficult state, he would have helped her and then he would have continued his austerities. But he gave up. Because the mere attraction through goodness also will impact us actually. I always think about this. These exalted personalities, they gave up everything and then still they were kept in a difficult state. They had to go away. They have to stray away from the process of pure devotional service. And what to speak of us? There's no surrender in our life. There's nothing. There is nothing like we have to do this, we have to do that. There is no. There is no intimate attraction with the Lord and His devotees. There is no relationship. There's no deeper relationship with them. What is our state? Always think about this. Because our state of consciousness is not that deep, then where do we go? Do we have any hope? We really do not have any hope in this world, actually. The mere so-called attraction doesn't give anything in this world. There's no existence, there's no purpose, there's no tangibility to that. But still we get attracted to this world. This is called as illusion. It is there, but it is not there. But still we are attracted to that only. Still we think that, oh, kuch gaya. Something has left in my life. Something is gone in my life. It's always, it's always a problematic state. It's very, 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 very important. Life is like that only. Life is that only. A mere presence, a mere state of consciousness is everything actually. सब कुछ वही है. Everything is that only. Srila Prabhupada, through his life, through his example, through his teachings, through his following, shows us the greatest hope in this world. And his followers as a great hope. Because that hope is itself the driving factor for us. Otherwise, what we have, you tell me what we have in this world. There's nothing actually. There's nothing. There's no hope. Bharat Maharaj has to take 3 lifetimes. Please understand this. 3 lifetimes he has to, because he took shelter of a deer, become a deer. Again, he has to become Jada Bharat later on. And then through the deer, he knows that, oh, this is what I have done, which biggest blunder in my life. Now I would never take that association again. I would never be baffled up again. So she started staying with the devotees always. The deer was always wandering in the forest. Where it is for wandering in the forest? It is not wandering for another female deer. It is not wandering for that. It is not looking for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But rather it is taking shelter of the sadhus. It is always, the deer was always at the hermitage of the sages. And then through that association, it would leave the body and then get Jadavarat's body. And then this Jadavarat, he remembers everything by the mercy of the Lord. They are devotees, they are sitting here. It is a mercy of the Lord. It is a mercy of our spiritual master. It is their mercy. Please understand, we cannot sit like this. We cannot discuss. It is only their mercy. Jadavarat understood that. He realized that. Because not everyone would remember his past life, but he would remember his past life. Through that remembrance, what is happening? He is depending. He is grateful. Devotee means grateful, dear devotees. He has unlimited gratitude. Because he always feels that it has been given to him. It's not feeling, that's the fact actually. That's his expression. That's his emotion. That's his experience. So through that gratitude, he's feeling, yes, my dear Lord, thankful. I'm thankful for that. Because it is you I am remembering my past life. I understand. I made mistakes. I don't want to repeat that mistakes. And then he became Jada. He became aloof from this world. He is there in this world, but he is aloof from this world. He's not reacting. His father is telling you, study this, you study that. He's not doing any of those things. His father is telling you, you do this, you do that. His father would send him to the market, but he wouldn't respond. He's just aloof. He understands. And then they all felt that he's a dumb, but he's not a dumb. He's the greatest person. He never spoke to any one of them. Jada. He became convinced. So the conviction which we discussed a couple of days back, this is what it is, dear devotees. When the home is on the fire, a person reacts, then he knows that yes, he understood. Because that is his reaction. But when he doesn't understand, then the reaction will be something else. Then the person who told him, then he would understand, oh, this person, it will take some more time to understand that his home is on fire. I need to tell him in a different way. Then he might understand. Then he might get this process. Until that point, I have to tell him, I have to teach him. Likewise, the moment Jada Bharat was in that particular state, he was not speaking the devotees, but he knows everything. Now, how do we know that he knows everything? He spoke to King Raugana the absolute truth. He did not speak to anyone else. He was just Jada. He was fixed up. He was not opening his mouth. He's just leading his life. So that state which he expressed is very important. No, he only spoke where it is important. He did not speak anywhere else because he understands. They wouldn't understand even if he speaks. That's why he was quiet. No, he spoke to the king because the king has some knowledge in self-realization. Maharaj Raugana. This is devotee, dear devotees. Then he went back home, back to Godhead. So these are all the examples which show us, which teach us, and it will keep us in a careful state before we use our tongue. We cannot just speak like that of the other person. Even if you know fully about them, we should give a benefit of doubt. What's the point of speaking like that? No, there's no point. Mother Sita, if she would have just kept quiet rather than offending Lakshmana, things wouldn't have been like that. Lakshmana told her not to step out of the home. No matter what, whoever calls you, do not come outside. She did not follow that because she had an offensive mentality towards him. That's why, who will not and who will follow the instructions of the spiritual master? This is the example. The pure devotee, he told her not to come out, but she came out. She couldn't follow that. And she was in trouble. Likewise, if we follow the instructions of our spiritual master, we are not in trouble. For example, even if through following the instructions of the spiritual master, if you are still in trouble, that trouble is good for us. Because that trouble will teach us a beautiful lesson in our life. Krishna is such a father that even the difficulties or calamities in one's life, that also brings the sadhaka closer to the Lord. Because even the difficulty is in the internal energy only, it's not in the external energy of the Lord. What difficulty is what? Tapasya is not difficulty. It is difficulty. But still we do it. Why? For their happiness. That's not external. That's internal. It's never external. It's the internal energy of the Lord. Very, very important. Hare Krishna. So, the process is beautiful, dear devotees. The more we understand this, the more we'll take shelter. I think I'll stop here. I ran out of time. Didn't even see. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to comment? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhu, please. Yeah, please go ahead, Mataji.
No, please go ahead, Mataji.
Oh, thank you, Mataji. Prabhu, thank you so very much, Prabhuji. The hope, um, the beautiful example that you gave earlier, when I reached Krishna to have my health, um, to take care of my health, to get out of the illness. But then after I set right, my health is good. What am I doing? Am I still going to Krishna in the same submissive way? I need to check. At the same time that you asked, if somebody asks us to pray for them, then what's next after the health is good? Beautiful example, beautiful practical example. We can apply the same thing in each and every situation we come through. Thank you so very much. And once knowing the nature of the material world and my consciousness in the material world, and the only hope is through hearing, following Srila Prabhupada's books and his followers and followers, Diksha Gurus. They are the ones who are giving hope. And we get that hope only through Shravana and Kirtana. Thank you so very much for reminding early in the morning, Prabhu. This is my realization. Hare Krishna.
Actually, it is very important because the more we perceive, the more we feel their presence in our life, we will be free from duplicity. The more we do not feel their presence in our life, we will be attracted to the material nature. So, our consciously, when we develop that conviction and that relationship with them, then it makes a lot of sense in our life. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, then Pranam Marga,